they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah, I'm a sicko. Who else gon' get you to the window? I know they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah.
Hello, welcome all my fellow golf enthusiasts, and welcome to a special week of Graybo's Giblets. It's PGA Championship week, boys and girls. I know you're stoked. I'm excited. Fitz is excited. We're all excited. Graybo's Giblets, we take all the noise out there on the internet from all the prognosticators out there and boil it down into 15-minute bite-sized giblets so you can very efficiently get all this knowledge into your head and feel comfortable heading into the window or heading into the weekend. We are out here dropping giblets, boys and girls. I am your host, Denny One Time, joined as always by my business partner and my brother-in-law, Graybo. What's up, Graybo?
What's going on, everyone? It is a major this week. Super excited. Got a special guest this week. Excited to get his take as well. I'm sure Duke's going to introduce him here in a second, but I'm ready to get on with it.
We shall, but not before we introduce our producer, the gentleman who has the best case of OCD that we've ever been around, Fitzy baby. Fitzy, how you feeling today?
You can actually introduce Tripp. I'm going to go make sure my doors are locked. So
thank you, and yeah, check your hair in the mirror. We have a very special guest today. Very excited. He's one of our favorite degenerates. We know a lot of degenerates. He knows a thing or two about daily fantasy golf, and he is not boring. I am sure you guys are going to enjoy his picks and prognostications. Please welcome to the show, Tripp Howerin. Tripp, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm doing great, guys. I appreciate you having me on. Looking forward to it. I'll try and keep it G.
Thank you. And we did have to send a little a precursor, little email to Tripp ahead of time, just warning him to be like 70% of himself on here. We start every week by giving the one and done results from the week before. So Fitz, why don't you give us an update on how you're doing in Boost one and done pool?
Yeah, well, I'm all the way back. I did not drop a spot for the first time all year. I am staying steady at 75th of 81 and feeling good.
Dude, I am proud of you for not falling backwards.
Thank you. Denny, we're literally on fire between the two of us. You've cracked the top 60. You're in 59th now, up a spot. How about our guest here? Our guest, look at you, Tripp, 22nd, just hanging in there, just lurking in the shadows like you are literally right now on this recording.
I think sometimes Tripp forgets he's in the one and done league. Like our commissioner always has to text him. And,
honestly,
he has great insight, but he's like, man, what is one and done sometimes?
Well, it's lurking. I'm more focused on this, on the DraftKings side. But it is what it is. I'm coming back. There's a lot of money left out on the table to be had. So watch out, boy.
Tripp, do you get the same email I get from Booth every Wednesday night that he still needs my pick?
I see you copied on it.
Yep.
Yeah, I see you copied on it.
And so everyone knows, if you listened last week, Gray had a big win, selecting Jason Day, moves up all the way to 6th place. Just having a heck of a streak here the last couple of weeks, Graybo.
Last couple of weeks had Xander hit the solo second, which actually he won me more money than actual Jason Day. But Jason Day, a winner. I'm very happy for Jason Day getting back in the winner's circle. Great guy. We'll see how he plays out this week on DFS. But, the guy in first is up by a lot. And I got to give a shout-out to our buddy Shane because he knows Jimbo is up in first place, looking really good. The guy that screwed him in the Ryder Cup, and Shane knows what I'm talking about. So I had to give a shout-out to Shane, who's probably, I think, in 75th. And I know he listens to this, so I know he's shaking his head right now. Frickin' Jimbo. And Fitz, you had a great line before the show. You said, well, Jimbo's one and done with the Ryder Cup now. So I like that. You might be winning the one and done, but you one and done in the Ryder Cup. Our Ryder Cup.
Yeah, and the listeners have no idea what we're talking about, but nonetheless, a good story. So, all right, let's jump into this week's tournament, which was a big one, PGA Championship at Oak Hill Country Club in lovely Rochester, New York. We're going to give you some daily fantasy plays. We're going to give you some one-and-done suggestions, our best outright winners, and our favorite play of the weekend, our favorite bet of the weekend, which we title We Ridin'. So let's get to our DFS picks. For each of these, we're going to give a chalk pick, which is 9K and up. We're going to give you a value pick between 7 and 9K, and a long shot, which is under 7K. So before we get into that, Gray, will you please give us a brief course update?
Yeah, I got a pretty good update for us since it's a major here. We head to Oak Hill Country Club in Rochester, New York. It's par 70. It's around 7,400 yards, long course, bent grass. Last major was here in 2013. Trivia question, do we know who won in 2013? Anybody?
Jason
Duffner. Yep. Jason Duffner beat Jim Furyk in 2013. Don't think you're going to be playing any of those guys this week. It's seen a lot of changes over the years. They've added some yardage to this bad boy, narrow fairways. And Tripp was telling me they took a lot of trees out as well. Greens are very small. A lot of fairway bunkers that provide problems. So a lot of laying up if you're going to hit a bunker. The weather could be a problem this week. Cold, rainy over the weekend. Expect some high scores in the winter to be in the single digits, in my opinion. Keys to success for betting and DFS. You're looking for guys with major experience that are good with on tough courses, strokes gained approach, off the tee, especially with some distance. So sorry, Kisner. I don't think I'm going to be taking you. Who can make pars? I mean, par's going to be good this week. Sand saves and scrambling. Who's good around the greens? Who can putt on bent grass? And just give me those guys that are just good all-around players. And some guys that, the course has changed, but some guys that were here in 2013 that are here this week that had a top 5 showing, I think it was like top 8, top 5 showing. Adam Scott, Jason Day, Rory, DJ, and Duke Scott Piercy, top 5 here in 2013, who played great last week, and I lost money to you again. So that was for you, Duke.
Dude, don't think I didn't notice that he came in 5th 10 years ago, and don't think I didn't run to try to bet him, only to realize that he's not playing this year. Like Duffner got like a lifetime exemption because he won it, right? But you don't get a lifetime exemption for coming in 5th. So no Scott Piercy this week.
And just to give it, I want the listeners to know, we're having Tripp on because he is the DFS guy. So listen to him this week. He plays more DFS golf than anyone I know. And his main betting is PGA as well. So I'm excited. Yeah,
so that's why we invited Mr. Tripp Howerin on the show today. So Tripp, before we start, do you mind? You don't have to give dollar amounts, but do you mind just giving the folks like your approach to DFS, maybe like how many lineups you play, just how you look at it each week, just like overall kind of strategy for DFS?
So I kind of go in waves, to be honest with you. I'm much bigger on weaker fields. I feel like I definitely do better when you got to do a little bit deeper research as opposed to these majors where honestly, you're cutting hairs here that are it's just too tight. You're really taking a lot of shot in the dark here. All these majors seem to be that way. DFS is already hard as it is. The edge these days is a lot harder to get on and to figure out with all of the info that's out there. But honestly, I try and stick. I normally do like a one big single entry tournament. I do like the big GPP single entries. I've hit a couple of them. It's been a little bit now, but I've hit a couple for some 20K, 25K. Got lucky here and there. Some European Tour 5 a.m. sweats to win 20K.
He has done that numerous times.
That was pretty wild. But all in all, I normally do have like a core of 3 plays. I'm only making about 20 lineups. I do, like I said, I do one big single entry, and then I'll I might do a few $33 single entries and some $5 depending on how it's going. But I'm big on matchups, specifically round matchups. I love it, especially around rounds 2 and 3. That's kind of where I've been making my money this year, making my nut to expend, to get by on the DFS side. I think I'm up about 12% of what was my budget on the year, so I'm doing okay. I had a couple good weeks about 4 weeks ago, but we'll see. I'm ready to get it started this week.
Nice. It's interesting for somebody who like me who bets a lot more football than I bet golf to hear that like the weaker fields are easier to exploit, which makes sense. It's similar to like in college football, like the smaller college football games, you're going to have like less sharp lines, more value, more room, but just because of lack of information out there in the marketplace. Like whereas like an NFL game, the lines are like very sharp and hard to exploit. Well, yeah, that's cool. So let's get into our chalk picks. So 9K and above. Tripp, who are you taking in that range?
Okay, chalk. My chalk play, who I think is going to be up there, is going to be Tony Finau. With him being priced at 9,500 and with the form that he's shown this year and how dialed he's been with his irons, I think the price is just a little soft, and I think it's going to be a little too tantalizing for people to get away from. Listening to the pods that I have so far this year and doing the research, I mean, he's going to be a chop projection on most models that people run. And like I said, plus every pod under the sun has talked about him. So I like him. I still think I'll be underweight on him. I don't think he'll make my core top lineup, but I think he will be the chalk play. Him and Xander, I think, will be the top two chalks, followed by Scheffler. But I mean, he's an easy click, especially for any dad who plays DFS. I'm out here pulling my hair out with 2 kids and can hate my wife 50% of the time. He has 17 kids. He travels with his wife. I don't know if y'all saw that video of him the other day, after he won his last tournament. He's out caddying for his kid 5 hours later. It's insane. Yeah. And every time the camera points over to him, they're all smiling. I can't get my kids to smile.
He's a big fan favorite for sure.
So
he's definitely raising the level of expectation of dads across the country. Good for him. Gray, who are you taking in the 9K and up range?
Yeah, I always do 2 in this range, 10 and above. Man, like Tripp said earlier, like the majors, this is so hard. You can go with any guy up here. Morikawa is probably going to be so not popular at all. But he's just been playing the last couple of weeks, hasn't been playing very well. But I can see any of these guys winning up here for sure. But I'm just such a Scotty truther and a Scotty fan that I'm taking him over Rahm. This guy shot a 65, and he said it was his worst 65 of all time because he couldn't make a putt. I mean, this guy could just put the putter even like halfway decent than he did last year. He's going to be he should be up there crushing with Jon Rahm the whole week. So it was hard for me to pick one of those 2 guys. I think Scotty or Rahm is going to be up there in the end on Sunday, and I'm going with Scotty. And then my 9K guy who's knocking on the door is X-Man. Like Tripp said, he'll be chalky, but I think it's good chalk. I think it's chalk you want to eat. I think he top 10s easily. And, second at the Wells Fargo, knocking on the door, playing some really good golf. His putts are great right now. He's making a lot of putts, especially inside the 7 to 10 feet range, which are putts you're going to need to make this week. So I like Scotty and X-Man to start my lineups here.
Nice. Fitz?
I'm going with Cam Smith, who had a nice little showing at the Live event last week, made a surge there at the end, lost in a playoff. I'm hoping some people are kind of scared off from him. He can't drive the ball very accurately, but I'm not sure. I don't know if that really matters this week if you miss the fairway by a little bit or a lot. But if he gets the putter going, I feel like he can do some damage. What about you, Duke?
So obviously, like Gray, I looked at 2013. It was just fun taking a trip down memory lane and looking at 10 years ago who was at the top of the game, and then 10 years later, like some of those names have just fallen off the face of the earth, and some of them are still very relevant. I saw Mr. McIlroy nestled in there as a T8 10 years ago. I like McIlroy when expectations are low and no one's talking about him a lot more than all the pressures on him. And so I do think a lot of people are going to take the guys that you just mentioned before. And so McIlroy would be a little less owned than he normally would be in this setting. So give me Rory at the top.
Yeah. He seems to like when, he has a bad week and people are like, man, I'm not taking him this week. He goes off.
Yeah. He does. All right. So let's go in the value range, 7 to 9K. Tripp, who you like in that range?
So my definition of value is going to be a little bit different. This range is absolutely loaded, and it's going to be extremely chalky. To me, value is going to be upside, where I think he won't get as much ownership as he should. Is he morbidly obese like myself? Yes. Is he a huge eater? Yes. Do his parents hate him? Yes. But he hasn't gotten worse than 12th in the last 5 events, including a 4th at the Masters. Nobody likes this guy, so he's not going to get any emotional clicks. I think he's too talented, and his track record is too strong for $7,600 price tag. You just think with this price and the value and the ownership leverage that you can get there, I think there's too much value at Patrick Reed at $7,600.
Patrick Reed, ship it. Gray, who we like?
Yeah, you can add, did he steal money from his college teammates at one point? Yes.
I love that.
I am with Tripp on that. I love Fatty Reed at 7,600. He doesn't hit the ball a long way, but this guy is just elite around the greens. He doesn't make huge mistakes, and he's great at hard courses. He was 4th at the Masters, I don't watch Live at all, but I had to do a little research. Like, how's he playing on the Live Tour? The man, his last 5 events on Live, 11th, 13th, 3rd, 4th, 3rd. So he is a really good golfer. And for that price, and like Tripp said, he's not popular. So for the average guy that plays DFS just for the majors, they're not clicking Patrick Reed's name. And I think that's a mistake for that value there. In the 8K range, I got 2 guys. Obviously, DJ is going to be a guy that's going to be chalky at 8,800, but won last week on Live. His experience with majors hits it a long way. This guy and he's won a couple majors. You usually see DJ high 9s, 10s, and he's at 8,800. Also going to throw a bet on him. His number's great too. And then I absolutely hate this guy, but he's been playing so great at 8,500 is Hatton. You're also going to see people also not click on this guy. Yells at his caddy for every bad shot. He thinks it's never his fault, or he tells the hole that it's stupid, like this is a dumb hole or dumb course. But the guy has been playing awesome golf. And so I'm going to take Hatton as well at 8,500 because you have a lot of other good players around him, and I think he's not going to be that chalky. And I like him this week. I really do.
Yeah. All like all this as well. Fitz.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with another Live guy. I'm gonna go with a guy who provides some balance to my lineup. A guy who actually does hit the drive straight, and that's Joaquin Niemann at 7,900. I like the way he's been okay, but I like him in this tougher matchup. I'm also going to go with the prodigal son of the Northeast, the weirdo club using Keegan Bradley. He's at 7,700 solely because where he's from, and that's enough for me.
He's a big Bo Sox guy.
Yeah. So Tripp uses data, analytics, value, ownership. I use just pure feel.
And sometimes that's what you need, baby.
And that's why I'm down. That's why I'm down $40,000, and he's up $40,000. So
yeah, that might have something to do with it. So in this 7 to 9K range, I considered actually Fowler and I considered Adam Scott, but my main lean is going to be to DJ. If I told you, picture yourself 2 years ago, and I said, "Hey, DJ came in the top 10 at this course last time they played here. He just won last week, and he's under 9K. I think he would click that every time. And so I kind of faded the Live guys right when Live got kicked off because there was so much just press and PR and just negativity, and then they were thinking about it, talking about it. To me, like that's still there, obviously, but it's definitely died down. And I think DJ, some people I don't pick coming off a win because of the emotion tied up in it, but I doubt DJ even cared about winning last week. And he, like Jason Day, like I am fading him this week because last week was Mother's Day. His mom just died. He won. I'll think about all the emotion involved in that. And how do you get up again the next week as crisply as you would? But like DJ literally probably just went to bed Sunday, not even giving a crap about what just happened. And now he's playing another golf tournament this week. Who cares? Like that's how he looks at it. So I'm clicking DJ there. All right, so let's go under 7K. There's actually, being a major, you actually have some recognizable names under 7K compared to previous weeks. Tripp, who do you like down there?
I like Tripp Howerin. HV3. I mean, at 6,600, he's coming off a 4th, an 8th, an 11th before that, and then a 29th at the Masters. He shot a 61 on his last round of last weekend. So, I mean, he's feeling himself as long as he can, I think he can carry that momentum and maybe get us a top 20 this week. So I like him. The other one, I mean, and again, I think the ownership is going to be a lot more spread out than what people think. But I do get a little nervous. Obviously, you don't have anybody chalky in the 6K range. So it's a lot more fun to fade it. But, Jaeger Bombs is going to be tough. I know you called him Steven last week, Gray, but his name is Stefan. But
Gray getting a name wrong? Weird.
Oh, man, yeah.
He's
that's only the 10th time.
He's a little guy, but he bombs the ball. Like you mentioned earlier, like I told you, they did remove some of the trees and they are narrow fairways. So with the course being as long as it is and with them removing some of the trees, I really think, more that kind of DeChambeau style of the bomb and gouge is going to be okay. Missing 2 yards off the fairway as missing 20 yards off the fairway isn't going to be that much of a penalty here, as much as it normally would be. So I don't know. I'm going with HV3 and Stefan.
Stefan.
I like it. Stefan Gray.
I just call him Jaeger Bomb.
Jaeger Bomb.
I don't know if this is good or bad, but I like everyone's pick so far. Like Fitz, Neiman, Keegan, love that. I love Dukes, DJ, Scott, Fowler. I love all Tripps. Like HV3 for 6,600. Sign me up. The way he's playing. And then just like Tripp, I'm on Jaeger Bomb again. Solid last week. Won me some money on DraftKings. I didn't cash crazy, but I cashed because of him. Been solid cut maker. But does he have what it takes in majors? I don't know. He's been pretty good. If you're looking at his track record on hard courses this year, he made the cut at the Players. He's just making cuts and I think what is he? Tripp 67,000, 6,700. Sorry, or 68 somewhere in there.
For Varner?
For Jaeger Bomb. Varner 66. Anyways,
yeah 67.
I also like this guy Adrian Maronk. First in the Italian Open, won in the Italian Open. Should be a Ryder Cup guy for Europe. Yeah, he didn't make the cut at the Masters, but he showed some good life on Thursday, and then kind of fell off in the weather on Friday. So I like taking a stab with that European guy. And then there's Kuchar, who doesn't hit it a long way, I know, but he's a grinder, and he's at 6,900. If he was in the 7s, I wouldn't be taking him, but he's below 7. And he's been solid this year, 3 top 10s. And he has the experience as well. And that's what we've been talking about this whole show. So those are my 3 that I'm going to take shots on below 7 to kind of fill my Scheffler lineups here.
Yeah, I can dig it. Fitz. I know who you're going to say, but just I like to hear you say it.
Yeah, it's a guy I have to get into every episode, and it's surprisingly not Sam Stevens this week, but it's our good friend Tom Hoagie at 6,900. from North Dakota, born in the cold, molded by it, didn't feel the warmth until he was already a man. These other golfers merely adopted it. So I'm going to go with Tom Hoagie.
The Hoagie.
And me under. Say that again, Tripp.
A great stat profile this week. I like the Hoagie pick.
Fitz can't go more than 8 minutes without saying Tom Hoagie. I love it. So I considered Aaron Wise just because he's the guy who's finished in the top 20 in the PGA before and pretty cheap. But I think I'm going to lean towards Matt Kuchar, and that's somebody I never take. But this is as kind of Gray said, he's under 7K. He's steady Eddie. He's played well at this course before. I wouldn't surprise me at all if he's a top 10, top 15 guy. So give me Matty Kuchar. Okay, moving along to one and done. So Tripp actually is in the one and done pool with us in Booth's pool. And so who were you actually taking this week in Booth's pool, Tripp?
How many people have already taken him? I think Brooks Koepka is going to be a huge pick this week. So I still have him. I'm going to save him, but I'm going to go with Rahm. I don't need to describe how good Rahm is. So I'm just going to go with Rahm, not thinking about it, and hopefully I can climb up, maybe cut up 3 or 4 spots this week.
Johnny Rahm. Gray, who you like?
Yeah, surprisingly, this major, the purse is not as big as you think it would be. The Memorial in 2 weeks is going to be more. The Wells Fargo was more than this. So I probably am going to be chalky with everyone, but being a top 6 pick, I hope the chalk hits and I move up a little bit more. And live golfers, right? You can only use them in the majors. I'm not going to play them in DraftKings, so I think it's a good idea to take them in one and done. I'm taking Brooks Koepka.
Brooksy. Fitz.
Yeah, I'm kind of in line with Tripp here. I was actually thinking Rahm to start just because he had been used a bunch. I think I'm going to save him, even though it doesn't matter for me because I'm in the cellar for the playoff. So I'm going with another guy who's been burned by 2/3 of the pool, and that's Rory. People forget that he's an honorary member here. No one forgets that. It's literally mentioned every 5 minutes on the coverage. I agree with Tripp, too, that the live guys will be chalk because you can only use them in these couple events, and I just really need to get in the top 70. So I'm going to go with Rory.
Okay, and I'm going back to my guy DJ again. I don't get many chances to take him. I'm taking him. He's going to win. Outright winners.
Love that logic.
Outright winners. So we try to peruse all the major sites, FanDuel, DraftKings, and others, try to find you the best odds for each of these guys that we're actually picking. Tripp, who are you actually betting on the sites this week to win?
Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. I don't do too many outright winners. If I do, it's minimal. I might throw in $40, take 8 guys at $5 and see what happens. Not a big outright winner guy unless I just see too much value. I don't understand, like Data Golf has him as like one of the worst guys over 9,500. I don't understand it. But Cam Smith at 35-1. I mean, he's so good at these tough events. I just think that's a good number for him. So, I might throw $10, $20 on Cam Smith and see what happens. But other than that, that's probably all I'm going to throw out this week on those. Best of the week bets. So we're going to do those later. About other bets, or you want?
Yeah, we'll do that in a little bit. When the music kicks in and it says "We Riding," that's when you know it's time. Okay. We don't really have that music, but we should.
He's only requested that for like 4 weeks, and I still haven't done it. It's fine though.
Every Sunday I email him, "Hey man, how's that sound bar coming?"
How's that sound?
And I don't respond to the emails like a good friend.
He's responding to all the hate emails we're getting.
We'd get less hate email if the kids were entertained, Fitz, during this podcast.
That's fair.
All right, Gray. I know you like your outright winner bet.
Oh, and this is why Tripp makes money and we lose money. Like, I love the outright bets. Mm-hmm. I haven't hit one since Wells Fargo. Since what was it, Farmers Maxoma? But down this year. But we're gonna hit one. We're gonna hit one this week, baby. I got a few. That I like, dude.
All right,
Fitz,
let's
got a
hear 'em.
few. DJ, I got 35-1 on DraftKings before it moved down to 30. I think everyone's going to be on that this week. Love Hatton this week on FanDuel. He was 46-1 on DraftKings. He was 35. So, like, great value over on FanDuel. JT, major winner. He's won this twice, and he's 30-1. Okay, so taking that. And I am going to bet this guy every single week until he is in the winner's circle, because if I don't and he wins, I'm going to be upset because I bet him a lot. That's Cam Young. We didn't talk about him at all, but he hasn't been playing well in majors. But this week he's 35-1, taking that. And then, of course, Brooks. Used my boost on DraftKings to get him. I think he's now 25-1 if I use a boost. So use that boost on DraftKings on any one golfer. I think it's like plus 300 or something. Go do that and pick one golfer that you like and boost the odds.
I can dig it. I think you guys are slowly talking me into Cam Smith, but it's not my turn yet. You said Cam Young. Cam Young is dead to me, to be clear.
Well, yeah, he's like dead to me too. But like, I just don't want to be that person when he does win.
Yeah,
like, I bet you the whole time, and then you finally did it, and I wasn't on you.
Yeah, okay. But the other Cam I like. Okay, Fitz, go ahead. You like any Cams?
Yeah, I mean, they're not on my list, but, I'm going to have at least 12 to 15 outrights. That's why I don't profit any week. I do like Brooks. I don't like the number, but I just want to have some exposure to him, just so if he is in contention like he usually is, I want to be able to root for him and not feel bitter. So I'll grab some Brooks, some DJ. I'm going to also go with some, I don't think he's been mentioned, Sanjay at 36-1. He is going to be fresh this week. He's flown to and from Korea, went to a wedding, won a loaded field on the Korean tour. In form, that's okay, and also going to go with Max Homa. 45-1 seems really, really long odds for a guy like Max Homa. I know he's not really quite in form, and then obviously a guy who was added late to the group here. Our guy Callum Tarrant at 2,000-1 odds. Why not? I mean, you're silly if you don't bet that, and I think less of you as a person if you don't. So
you mean to tell me we played this tournament 2,000 times? He doesn't sneak in there once.
He was leading the U.S. Open one time, so
he was.
Yeah, he's there.
He was leading the Open Championship too, wasn't he? Or was that the U.S. Open?
I think it was the U.S. Open.
Homa's really 45-1.
45-1 on Caesar or PointsBet, excuse me.
Dude, he's been pretty bad in majors, but he's so good.
Is that now Fitz, or was that old? That's the one thing that's frustrating, especially listening to podcasts. People aren't listening to it fresh. Obviously, we're recording Tuesday night, but when you hear these numbers, then you go and look for yourself, and it's 20 points less.
Yeah,
it's brutal.
Yeah, I would never bet Callum at 1950-1, but 2001.
No. 2001.
Yeah,
you're saying he plays this 2,000 times, he doesn't win.
How can you be happy?
There's 4 majors a year times 500 years. It's 2,000 tries. All right, so yeah, I actually was not thinking about Cam Smith until I didn't realize he was that high. If he's 35-1, I'm taking Cam Smith. I liked DJ at 30-1. I wish I got him at 35-1, but I'm pressing the button there. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on Fowler at 75 and Adam Scott to 75. I really don't. Do I think they're going to win? No, but that's a lot. And those guys, if they get hot, can do it. I would love, as Fitz mentioned a couple weeks ago, that like Fowler, this idea that Fowler's kind of making this bit of a comeback and being relevant again. That kind of excites me. I'm rooting for that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Jason Day, right? Like Jason Day won last week. Why not Fowler this week?
Why not?
Fowler's the number one value on Data Golf. Followed by, and you guys would never guess this value-wise for the price. This is DFS, obviously. But Russell Henley is second in line, followed by Scheffler.
Ooh. Wow. That's a guy you can easily forget about.
So you're saying Fowler will be chalky?
Yes. According to
in DFS, yeah.
Yeah, in DFS.
Okay, so here we get to our final segment called We Ride. This is our actual best bet of the week. I like to describe this to people as we bet a lot of stuff each week, but this is the thing we care about the most, and it's probably because we'll probably put the most on it, and because we report the progress each week. I'm very excited for Fitz to report the progress this week. How do we stand year to date on We Riding?
Yeah, so despite Gray's prowess in one and done, he is down a unit and a quarter almost. Kuchar let him down last week, missing that top 20. I also
started out great.
Started out good. I got let down as well by Christian B. He did everything he could, birdied 17 and 18, got into the top 20, but there was just too many golfers left, pushed him out to 23rd. So I'm up a half unit. And Denny one time, holding it down, up 2.38 units, snuck in the Seamus Power top 20 last week.
Yep. So that was a fun sweat because we were riding Power and Bazud and Hoyt, and when Christian B birdied 17 and 18, we were pretty excited. He was T17 maybe, and then people kept birdieing and kept birdieing. He just kept dropping, and he was in the clubhouse. He couldn't do anything about it, but somehow Mr. Power held on. So good for him.
Yeah, the par 5, 18 is all fun and games until there's 10 golfers behind.
That's what's so fun and frustrating about a birdie fest, right? Like,
yeah, they were so bunched up. Like one stroke moved you like 7 spots or 8 spots.
I just want to say, I bet y'all's We Ride in bed every week, so I actually might be up.
Let's go
because of y'all.
We're good. I'm glad. Let's keep that train rolling. So,
can't wait to see what Tripp has because I'm definitely going to be betting this.
All right. So with that in mind, Tripp, what's the one thing you are actually going to bet this week?
All right, I'll give you 2. I'm going back to Fatty Reed at plus 170 to top 30 on DraftKings. I like that. I guess I'll give a little shout out to David Jane. He's the real OG of fantasy golf, of the fantasy golf streets, that's for sure. But he sent me one earlier today, taking the top South African to be Dean Burmester over y'all's boy Bazudenhout, Lawrence, and Stridham. So I'm going to write that one out.
So where do you bet that? Where do you bet top South African?
You got to get a nationality props. They normally only have them for big tournaments, but on DK,
gotcha.
You go over and go to nationality props, and then for you'll see US PGA Championship 2023 Dean Burmester. Plus, I got him at plus 160. I'm not exactly sure what it is live. Obviously, Bez is the only one that I'd be a little worried about. But
I don't even know the other 2.
He's solid. I actually think he's a great sneaky play. If you're doing the $5 $50K to first or $100K to first, I think he's a great sneaky play in the high 6s this week as well. I just want to say one thing. Come back to what you guys were saying about last week. I wish I was on best bet of the week last week. So my bet last week, I had $100 to at plus 850 on Scheffler and Hatton, both the top 5. And obviously Scheffler fell off there a little bit towards the end. He finished T5, but Hatton went birdie on 16, made a 20-footer on 17, birdied the easy par 5 on 18. He's in the clubhouse at T5. However, if Scheffler birdied 18, it pushes him to T6. And Scheffler missed that 3-foot birdie putt on 18 for me to T5. You never
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go, Scotty.
When did you bet that? You bet that on Sunday morning?
No, I bet that early on, so it wasn't great odds, but in that field,
gotcha.
I liked it at plus 850.
Nice, very nice, very nice. And full disclosure, shout out to David Jane. We actually did invite him first, and he turned us down. You're our second pick.
I wasn't gonna say that, but
I don't blame you.
You brought it up. We were going to call you for the British Open, okay? So the Open Championship, but
he said he's out of the DFS game.
But he knows enough to know who Mean Dean Burmester is. Whatever. So good for him.
Hey Tripp, did that top 5 get split in a dead heat, or did you get all of that?
No, T5 it pays out. Top
Nice.
five.
So yeah, top 5 like ties count. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ties count. So that was
Very nice. Very nice.
got my nut for the week.
Very good. Very nice. Well, good luck to you this week with your Patrick Reed. And I might ride that too. Plus 170, top 30.
Yeah,
That sounds
you're gonna ride everything Tripp said.
probably will. But let me ask you this: like, I don't watch him enough when he's in 20th and 25th place. Does he quit or does he finish strong?
No, he always finishes pretty strong. I don't
Okay.
think he gives up. Unless he's hungry, you might see him in the bunkers, cheating and eating up.
He probably grinds on the last 3 holes just to spite his parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, cool. So, Gray, what are you betting this week?
Yeah, I was going back and forth with matchups and top 20s, and then I saw this boost on DraftKings, and I usually don't play the boosts, but then I saw who the 4 guys were, and I love this bet a lot. It went plus 200, 4 guys to make the cut. We just need them to make the cut, so it's going to be good Thursday, Friday sweat. Rory, member here, like Fitz said. Finau, Day, and Homa, 4 solid golfers to make the cut. I think they do it. And I want to go with something new, right? My top 20s weren't working. My matchups worked a little bit, but I was a little scared. I had DJ over Sungjae at plus 100 was the other one I was thinking, but then Fitz liked Sungjae, so then I was like, let me try this.
You should fade Fitz, not ride Fitz.
Yeah, well, it's we riding. I don't want to fade anyone. We riding together.
Well, hey, just to be clear, Fitz, are we allowing Gray to count as boost towards this we riding? Because we all need to boost then if we're counting this season long.
It counts. Go get it.
I'll allow it. Yep.
Free.
Well, I might reprice this then if I can boost my pick. All right, go ahead, Fitz.
Sorry, real quick. Just a little reminder for these bets because it's a good point to remember. Making the cut and everything is it's T70 this week, not T65. So
T70, yeah. T70.
And that's a giblet from Tripp.
It's nice.
Giblets.
Don't mess with my giblets.
All right, Fitz, what is your best bet of the week, my man?
Yeah, I'm gonna go down a little bit to a top 40 from Thomas Dietrich. Strong tee to green, and again, that's enough for me. 1 stat, 1 article, 1 mention of them, and I'm gonna tail it. So
hashtag research. I like it.
What nationality is Dietrich?
German, strong German boy.
German boy.
All right, I'm looking at repricing my Adam Scott bets. All right, so my best bet of the week, Adam Scott, top 20. And as of yesterday, he was paying plus 280. And if I can boost this, I'm going to boost it. And I'll reprice it on this sheet. So next week when I cash it, it's going to be even more money. All right. Well,
real quick.
Yeah.
Dietrich's Belgian.
Yeah, I know. He's Belgian.
Well, it's good. Glad we got that straight. All right. Well,
I'm top German still, so.
Before we wrap up, Tripp, since I don't offer closing thoughts, but since you're a guest and you don't get on here often, do you have any closing thoughts for the listeners out there?
I'm taking over. I'll see y'all next week. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, if David Jane's not available for the Open Championship, we'll call you back. So thank you. But no, in all seriousness, Tripp, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate everybody riding along with Graybos. Be sure you turn in next time to see how the squad fared. Please make sure you're subscribed, and we'd be honored if you left us a review. For details and show notes, you can check it out at graybos.co/giblets. Please email us at info@graybos.co. Follow us on the gram at graybos_cards. Stop by our card shop located at 214 East Gray Street, where you, this Friday, can buy a hobby box of Bowman U Inception. Get you a Wemby auto, a Caitlin Clark auto. We have a fresh case coming, and we have a few boxes left, so holler at your boy. Thanks for riding with Graybos. Tripp, can I get a giblets?
I don't know what a giblet is.
Giblets!
When I go to sleep, I don't see sheep, see dollar signs. $100 got him beat the odds for the 100th time at a money line. Brock Purdy was irrelevant, now I'm at the front like a cutting line. G5 to the power 5, Graybo's on fire like it's summertime. I know they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah, I'm a sicko. Who else gon' get you to the window? I know they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah, I'm a sicko. Who else gon' get you to the window?